Welcome, everyone, to episode number 137 of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours, soon to be Pro No Coders. We are still working on that rebrand. If this is your first time tuning in, you might be watching live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or even Twitch. What Office Hours is we invite our members to come on Zoom with us and we broadcast them live, and then they can ask us any question about Bubble that they want. And we can't promise answers because we don't have them all, but we promise to do our best, and we promise you won't suffer alone. So if you would like to join us for a complimentary session of Office Hours to see if it meets your needs, you could go ahead and email us at team@CoCreativeNoCode.com, and we'll get back to you right away with the link so you can join us and meet us. And we can see what we can do for you. I'd like to welcome Justin, my partner, and then our member Jay, and our guest Frank, and then also my Kim. Thank you for being here today. And I think Frank and Jay, you said you don't have anything specific to talk about today. Is that right?
That's right.
Well, I have 1,000 questions, so maybe.
Yeah, feel free.
Feel free to ask. Yeah.
If you want to ask a question, you can go ahead and ask a question. I can stop sharing my screen. Go for it.
I have a custom stage on an index. When I click a button, and the buttons I make them myself, but I want to reuse them. So if I put them in a reusable element, I can't get to the custom state on the index to show something.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, we can help you out with that.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank, are you sharing your screen right now?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, all good. Yeah, you just go ahead and you can show us what the situation is, and we'll try to help you out.
Okay. It's new for me, so I'm sharing. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I go here, I go to apps and go to game tracker. Then the button, this button here.
Yeah.
If I go to mobile, you can see here the same button.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still busy with it, but now it's another button. But I want to make this button a reusable element. So when I click here, you can see this page like I click this button here. So it has to be the same. But if I try it to make a reusable element, I try to, because it's a single page app. So what I make, I go to index, set state to text, and if you view this page, then you can see this page. But
yep.
I can't.
So if you jump into the editor and then find that button for me, the reusable button.
Okay, one moment.
The way to deal with this is to actually have it so that you have a state on the reusable element, and then outside in the workflow on the page, you're checking to see if that state has changed. And when that state has changed, then you change the state that's on the page. So it's like a two-step process.
Oh, because I have an index page and all my pages, if you see,
yeah,
admin is visible, page challenges, coach is visible, then show this, and here I have no, it's on the pages, I think. here I have that's in Dutch. It's active page, active pagina, text. So when I make one of these pages active, then the page is showing. And on the button, it's not a problem if it's not reusable.
Yeah. Can you find, do you have the reusable element or did you delete the reusable?
Yeah, I did delete it because it didn't work.
Okay, go ahead and create a new button.
Here.
A new reuse. Oh, you have it?
Here.
Okay,
Here
perfect.
it's
Okay,
button
on
again.
here,
Yeah.
so if you double click in the gray somewhere on the side, yeah, just to select the whole, yeah, right there. Add a state to this and just do, I guess, active page or whatever you want to call it. And then change it to a text, or
Okay.
I'm assuming you use text, right? To switch pages.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then go ahead and create. And then go to when the button, go to the button action. So when you click on the button or click on the actual reusable element.
It's when you click on the reusable element. So that's the reusable element. So when you click on button game tracker,
there we go. Awesome. So start edit workflow.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a roundabout way to do this. You're going to actually trigger a workflow to run on your reusable element. You're going to set the state of your reusable element. And then on the index page, you're going to check for when that has changed. And I'll show you how to do that. So go ahead. It would be the first one, BTN game tracker.
Yeah. You see, that's why I thought on the other pages, when I click the drop down next to element, you could see index, and now I didn't find index. That's why.
It's because it's not. It doesn't know it's on the index page, right? Because you're editing within the reusable element, so it doesn't know what page it's on. So go ahead, type in what you want the value to be. Okay. Yep. Awesome. And then if you go back to the index page now.
Yeah.
Man, I wish Bubble worked a little bit quicker sometimes. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then when you jump down to find that reusable element, you can scroll down and probably search for it, or you can search for it up in the top. I think it was game tracker, right?
Yeah. Here is good focus apps. That's
okay. That is the button though, not the reusable element, right?
No. So yes, it's a button. So that's something I would have to change to a reusable.
Yeah, go ahead. You can change that to reusable, so you can delete that and then you can drag the reusable in there. And then scroll all the way down. Yeah. Grab that reusable, drop it on the page. There we go. BTN game tracker. Yeah. You can use your arrow keys to move it too. Awesome. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into workflows. On the left, the tab on the left. There you go. Yeah. And you're going to add a new workflow. So
manual.
Yeah, manually add one.
Okay. That's something.
So click here to add an event.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pick the one that says, it's kind of hard to see because it's so far at the bottom of the screen. You're going to, okay. You can't see it, but it is the one.
I'm gonna, maybe I'm trying to, okay.
Okay, let's see.
Well,
It's the one that says do when condition is true or something like that.
do every. Oh no.
No, it's like do when condition.
I always have this problem when it's down below. I can't seem to.
So what we can do is just click like pages loaded. Sure, click pages loaded.
Yeah. Okay.
And then where did that one go? It should be at the top somewhere. Okay, and then right click it. And then click replace by another type. A new event type. Change it to when a condition is true. It's like the fifth one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit replace.
Okay. Oops,
Okay, hit okay. It really didn't like that.
Again?
You can try it again. It might make you refresh. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, that's a bug. One other thing that you can do is open up that side left menu there. There's a little arrow. Yeah. You have all of these different folders, right? Choose a folder where there's very little workflows.
Oh, I'm gonna make a new one.
Yeah, that works too. Add a new folder.
Game tracker.
All right, now we can access the button. Okay, so click here to add an event. Do when a condition is true.
Yeah.
Okay, so where it says only when, you're going to change that to GM tracker. So the red, yeah, right there. Change that to GM tracker. I think it was BTN Game Tracker B was the name of it.
Oh, okay, yeah, the button. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Game
B.
tracker.
It was B. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the one you dropped on the page. And then you're going to check the state, active pagina, or however you say that. And then you're going to say, just change it to is not empty. So instead of is, change it to is not empty. So you're going to be checking whether or not it's empty. And if it's not empty, that means it's changed. And so you see at the very top, it says run this and it says just once. Change that to every time. So this is the second portion. So what we're going to do here is you're going to add an action. So click here to add an action underneath. And that action is going to be to set the state of the index page.
Oh, okay. And now the index page will be okay. Yeah.
And then you're going to change the active page. And then for the value, just say, grab that, what was it? BTN Game Tracker B. You don't need to type it out because you already typed it out once. So you're going to grab it from that other one. So BTN Game Tracker B, very last one. And then active page. Yeah. And then you're going to set another state. Oh, sorry. Not with that button. I meant you're going to go ahead and do another step. And then set state. And what you're going to do is you're going to empty out the other state so that it goes back to being empty. And that way, if you need to click it again later, you can re-trigger it. So if you set the state of the game tracker B again.
So here
The second one, right? Third one. Yeah. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
And you're going to change the state of that active page to be empty. You're going to leave it empty. So what that's going to do is, so basically the workflow runs like this. When you click that button, it's going to change the state of the reusable element, it's active page. And then on the index page, it's going to check, it's going to say, you see where it says do when BTN Game Trackers B active page is not empty. So it's going to check, is it empty? Is it empty? Is it empty? Oh, it's not empty anymore. And when it's not empty anymore, then it's going to set the page of the index to the active page that you want. And then it's going to empty out the state of the reusable element. That way you can reuse it later. And so it can
when I
keep
copy-
triggering later.
When I copy this reusable element, do I have to add all these the same things I did now, or do I just copy and with the workflows?
So you can do both. So if you this one is for game tracker B, it looks like you already have the other reusable on there, so we can set that one up as well. So if you right click the when, actually, without going to the design page, if you go right click this one,
Okay, yeah, sorry.
and then copy that,
Yeah,
and then paste it.
here.
Yeah, right click there and then paste. Now all you have to do is swap out those fields. So where it says only one game tracker Bs, you change it to only one game tracker As. Yeah. Okay, and then you do the same thing under sets. Oh, no, hold on, be careful. Look, you're changing. Look at the when that you're changing.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
changing the B
yeah.
one. You would change the A one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The A jumped in front. Okay.
Yeah, because it's sorted by it's sorted
Yeah.
alphabetically, so it always jumps around. And then grab BTN game tracker A's active state. Same thing here. Change the element. Game tracker A's. There we go. And so if you check, it should work now.
Hmm.
Here's the moment of truth.
I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's a little workaround. You have to trigger and this is actually quite interesting because reusable elements are awesome, but you can't access the stuff on the page all the time. So what you do is you just check to see if there's a state change, and then that's how you interact with the page behind it.
Mhm. It could be because I typed in the
Spelled it wrong.
page. That could be. And also when I click here, this group focus has to, but that's something I do
On that index page,
on
yeah.
the workflow also. So I set the state or I hide this group focus.
That's correct.
I think maybe I named the page the wrong one, so that's something I would.
Okay, you can check, just see if the state change. If you click inspect, you can change. You can see the index page whether or not it's changed.
So when I click here and then
Yeah, so click inspect. Yep, and then right where that drop down is, where it says FG bottom, type in index there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, first one. Okay, and then in there you should have the state, and you can see this Pagina game tracker. So it passed over the very first thing on that left side, top left there on the, yeah. Do you see where it says custom states?
yeah.
You can see that in the active page is Pagina game tracker. That's what you typed in. That means that it successfully passed it. So you just need to change the name of that.
I think it's with it's not an uppercase page. Following out game tracker. I think it's lowercase.
And a good way to get around that is to actually use well, there's two ways to get around that. You can use option sets to keep track of like what pages you have, and that way you just refer to the option set, or you can use the URL parameter. And so if you change the URL parameter on the page, it's easier to keep track of where you are and things like that.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
a lesson I will come back to.
Yeah, for sure. We can come back to another time, or I'm sure we have lots. Tonya, I'm sure you have lots of videos on page URLs.
Oh, yeah, URL parameters.
Yes,
For
URL
sure.
parameters.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something in the history, but we can go over it again. It's not a problem. So
Okay. I
Yeah.
have an idea how to change it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No worries. If you have any
definitely.
other questions, let us know.
Yep. And Brittany, welcome. How are you doing? I don't know if she heard me. Brittany.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was kind of coughing as I said your name, so it might not have been like, yeah, you might not have been able to hear it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. How can we help today?
So I just like literally just sitting here, I discovered a new problem. Well, it was working before. I can share my screen. I don't know what is going on now. Maybe a bug or it may just, I don't know. So this button is supposed to charge the user, and it's doing all of this, but it's not charging the user in my Stripe. It's not showing up here. So it was working before, no clue what's going on. So say if I change to a different plan here and I click confirm. Oh, now it's working. Okay.
We just had to look at it. It's all.
Yeah, this happens too much to me because the last time this didn't even show up. So I'm like, what is going on? Let's see. It's still not because it didn't.
Did you switch plans? Is that what just happened? You
Yeah.
upgraded? Okay.
Yeah.
This is probably actually something related to what Eli is working on for pro no coders right now. It probably has to do with proration. So go ahead and click in that transaction in Stripe.
This one right here. This isn't the same one. It didn't show up. The one that I just tried to do.
The subscription update is what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, so these are this is something I did maybe like a few weeks ago. The date on it is actually this is something from, it says yesterday, but I didn't even do anything on there yesterday. But the one from today, the 22nd, is not showing up. So I'm not sure.
Are you accidentally in live mode?
No, it's in test mode. I don't have anything in live mode.
Okay.
I have no clue what's going on. Let's see if I can try again.
Check the console. You can open the console up, see if there's any error messages from Stripe.
How do I do that?
You can press F12 on the keyboard, or you can right click the page and click inspect. So that would be on your bubble app that you do.
Oh,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, this inspect down here.
No, sorry. That's the bubble inspect. The
Okay.
console, yeah, the console is the one built into Chrome. So if you right click the page anywhere on your page, and then you click inspect, it's the very last option.
Oh,
That'll open up the console, and you can, if you click console on it's the second tab on the top there.
Gotcha.
There you go. Now it'll let you know if there are any Stripe errors or anything that come
Okay,
through.
it looks like Stripe has loaded more than one time.
Most of those you can ignore.
Okay, I don't know. That's could not load content.
Those are for extensions. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Let's try and change. Move this.
Okay, it looks like nothing came through on the console, but it's not coming up on your Stripe payment, hey? What amount should be coming through?
Oh, the $4.99, the one from. Oh, Okay, now it's working. But it looks like it kind of like prorated it or something.
It did. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it looks like.
This is weird because I don't know. Okay. It looks like it's working when it wants to. So
Yeah. Well, go ahead and do it 3 times
okay.
in a row, and let's see what happens. So we did it once.
To this one.
Okay. Well, looks like it works.
That one is not showing up. I don't know. And that's the one I had problems with the first time. I don't know why that one.
Is there, maybe there's no dollar amount in that particular one, or if it's being canceled. So check your step-by-step on your app. So when you change it to platinum monthly, that's when you're having the problem?
Yes, but it may be that because it's being prorated in Stripe, they may have already paid enough for it to, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. When you prorate something, yeah. So right now they're on that plan, so you'd have to change it to a different one and then change it back. Well, why don't you go ahead and try that?
Okay. So they're on the platinum monthly. So if I change it to annual,
Okay, run next. And then confirm change. Okay, you're collecting their information only when it's empty. Okay.
Save the donation.
And you are subscribing the user to plan. Okay, let's look at this. So it's you're updating an existing plan. You're changing it to the correct one here. On promotion codes, there's no coupon ID. Only when. So this is, oh, okay. So you're doing one. Oh, okay. I see. So that would be if it was gold monthly. And which was the one you were having problems with?
It was the platinum
monthly.
So let's.
Okay, so it's saying it's platinum monthly. Okay, let's scroll up here on this one. Let's see. So you are updating. Looks like everything's the same. The price, quantity. Is that one set up in Stripe payments, like with a dollar amount and everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one is the.
Okay. Successfully updated. And
it's probably used to a plan. That's the
annual.
annual one. It looks like it's all set up the same.
Weren't you changing to the annual one?
Yeah, that's what I said. Something is.
I think it's in the condition that you're running on them, because it's saying, so if you go to your bubble app for a second.
Actually,
you have to click run.
But actually it's on monthly. I thought I changed it to annual, but whatever's in this drop down, whatever you click is what it's going to change to. So that was right.
I'm just curious if one of them is not, like, the condition is not the same, because I thought you clicked annual as well.
No, it was on annual before, and then I changed this run. I changed it to monthly.
Change it to annual again.
Okay.
Okay. Click OK. Okay, now you're on the annual plan. Okay. And then any of that striping come through?
Nope.
Can you run it as a different user?
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay, so they have a basic plan right now. Okay, so go to platinum monthly. Which one was the problem? Monthly or annual?
Both of them. Neither
Both
one
of them?
are working. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the monthly first because it's cheaper. So that way,
Okay.
when we
Message from Eli to Justin. Look at the subscription tab in Stripe. You can see all the activity that's happening in that subscription.
Perfect. Awesome. So let's have a look at that subscription. Subscription tab. That'd be
I think they're
under
called products now because this is where I have, unless there's a different tab.
let's try
He says payments. Go to
payments
payments. And then
Yeah, this-
subscription
Oh, I see.
tab.
I see.
on the side there. Current.
Okay, this is the person we were working with.
Thanks, Eli.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, it's prorating, it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and you can see the
Yeah.
logs here. Yeah, yeah. Look all of those logs. They were all created. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's working. Okay.
Yay. Thank you, Eli.
Confirmation.
Mhm. How did he message you?
On Slack. He's watching, obviously. So
okay.
he's watching the restream and then helping us through Slack, which is amazing.
Awesome.
Very cool. All right. Thanks. That's working. That wasn't my original question, but we can go ahead if anybody else has one.
Yeah, we just welcomed Jordan to the stream. Hi, Jordan.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
What's up?
Good.
Nothing much really. I don't have anything at the moment. I'm just sort of mucking around.
Cool. Do you have any
Yeah.
questions or anything you want to tackle today? Oh, you should tell Justin about your plan from the other day.
Oh, from yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to build like a kind of like an active campaign sort of setup where it's like got automations. So I'll show you actually. So I've got like a settings page over here.
Okay. That's nice. Looks real slick. Awesome. So you're trying to set up automations using these?
Yep. So as soon as I share my screen, it just slows right down.
I know. This is where that sound effects would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've made a bunch of pipeline stages, and I've made them all editable so I can drag and drop and move them around and stuff, which is
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
And then once you click, and you can add as many as you want, and that's what we talked about the other day when we were trying to, make the scroll bar.
Mm-hmm.
You can click on these and then make some sub stages. So, and then same thing, so you can edit them and drag them around. So there's a master stage, a sub stage, and then I want to make it so that when I go into that stage, I've then got a workflow.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I'll just be able to build out steps. So I'll have step 1, step 2, step 3. And then I'll make it so that I'll put like a number of days that that it's been in that pipeline that I want it to happen. And then I've got an action. So the actions, it's either an SMS, an email, or a task.
Okay.
And then I'm going to link the action to the workflow so that, after one or 2 days or whatever I set it to, it'll schedule an API, which will trigger a copy of that task. And then basically what I'll have is I'll have a big list of tasks that or emails or SMSs that need to go out to clients. and basically they'll be all set up there, all pre-templated, and I'll just go through each one and just make sure that, that it's correct. And if I need to adjust anything or whatever, I'll do it. But I'll basically make a draft and then I'll just push a button and send it.
Nice.
Yeah, eventually I'll make it so that it is automated, that I don't need to push the button. But while I'm still perfecting it and getting the process right, I want to make it so that I can check it and edit it and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So you're trying to so you're just scheduling different kinds of workflows that will happen in the future there using those backend workflows. That's awesome.
That's the plan. And I think I've got a good concept in my head about how to make it work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically I'll make a repeating group here called workflow, which I haven't set up yet. I've then made a database. A database here called pipeline workflow. So that's got a delay on it. So that'll be the number of days. So I might go 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I've given it a name, an order. Probably, I'm not sure if I need the order or whether I just do it by the number of days that would order it. And then a parent substage. So that, that's what will trigger it. So I'll set up a database trigger that says, when a substage when an application enters a substage, do a search for pipeline workflow, and then schedule an API, copy that over, find and replace some of the tags in there. So you might change the name and whatnot and personalize it to the customer. First it would pick up the template. So I would have the action template would be linked into that, and then it would pick that up, and then it would rename it and merge it and whatever, and then create a copy that would then be there ready to send. And then when I log into my dashboard, I'll just have a list of unsent ones and a list of sent ones, and then I'll just be a matter of going through and clicking send.
Yeah, that's awesome. So these are going to schedule in the future automatically, right? Like, or do you have to manually hit send?
So what will happen, like if I go back to my application page, pipeline. So I would take, this application here, which would go Jordan, and then I would change the stage. So if I go call attempt 3, so that means I've tried to call them 3 times. I'll change that, and then it will go bang. It'll create the I'll put them in here on the bottom of here. So this will be like a log of activities, and I'll have it, sorted by the top ones will be unsent, and then the bottom ones will be sent. And then I'll see, as soon as I change that, it'll go boom, 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 and it will give me all the things I need to do. And then I'll just check them and just click and send them.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So one thing, if you're going to be scheduling these API workflows in the future, like you don't want them automatically sent out because you want it to check first, and then you click send. When you click send, though, is it going to, like, for example, if you check it over and you're like, okay, I want to send this 3 days after, for example, 3 days after I hit this substage, and then you'll see them underneath, and then you can, let's say that you check it out, make sure the template, everything looks good, and then you click send. Is that going to send it in 3 days, or is that going to send it right then?
So if the delay on it was 3 days, it wouldn't even pop up until the 3 days is up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So it only shows up on the day that it is.
Only shows up on the day that it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then if the stage has been changed, then it would cancel it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you, let's say call attempt number 3, you're going here, it's let's say that you have something 3 days from now that will pop up 3 days from now, but it's not on there yet.
Yeah.
And then let's say they call you, they call you back the next day.
They
And so
call me
change
back. I
this.
would change it to call completed, and then it would cancel the rest of the workflows that were going to happen under call attempt 3.
Right, right.
Mm.
I wonder
then-
if you don't, I don't even know if you need to like schedule or cancel in that case. You just do a search for that if it's the current day or not. And
Yeah.
if it's the current
You probably
subset.
don't need to cancel it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It probably,
yeah.
probably just wouldn't happen, eh?
Yeah. No, that's great. That sounds great. That's a really good thought process. Very clear. I'm staggered at how much information that your app has and how clean it looks. That's pretty good. Good job.
Thanks. So yeah, I mean, I'm not even like halfway through it. I don't have a lot of time that I can work on it. So,
Yeah.
but basically what I'm trying to do is build like a whole application workflow system. So
Yeah.
I'll show you quickly. So I've got it set up here so I can send out like text messages and stuff. I was mucking around with that, so that needs to change. You can do log a phone call, send a text message, send an email, and then we've got templates, so we can just go in the back end of the settings and set up different templates and just send them straight up.
That's I'm not
Impressive,
gonna lie.
right?
That's so impressive. Yeah. And this is your first bubble application?
This is my first and only.
Oh my goodness. Were you a developer for this or a project manager?
I've just been building this myself, and Tonya's been helping me.
That's awesome. That you're like the #1 success story. Bubble's going to be coming after you real quick, trying to get you.
This is so I was trying to set up a client portal in here. So basically, what I've done is we need to get a lot of documents of clients. So I've set up this these templates over here, and I've broken them down into categories.
Yeah.
So these are all the ID documents. So we need to get like a passport, driver's license, all these different documents, and there's like a heap of them because I'm a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So there's a whole heap of different documents. So I've made this client portal here. So basically, when I need to get a document, I'll just come over here, and if I need to get a passport, I've populated the client's names over here. So you've got Alex O'Rourke and Jordan Cameron. So if I need to get a passport for Alex, I'll just click that, and then it would pop over here and it'll go passport for Alex. And then if I need to get a driver's license for Jordan, I would do the same. And I can just go through and quickly build out what documents I need for the clients. Basically,
It's amazing, right, Justin?
So good.
This
Wow.
is like, this should be a case study for Canvas. Like,
Yeah. Well, like that's custom right there. You built that custom. That's not.
Oh
Canvas.
yeah. Well, I
That's-
mean, but also he has been using Canvas, right, Jordan? So like,
it's all Canvas. I've just been using Canvas and just like playing around with it.
Yeah.
So this is actually the FAQ, the FAQ. I'll show you the FAQ block. List. It's this one here. So this is what I've used.
And that's
if I go,
that's
if I go back to here, I can click on it, and then basically I can upload documents in here.
This is so good.
Yeah. So these documents save directly to Box, and then I get a list of the documents down here. So I can drag and drop like as many in as I want. And then we can, and then we've got a note section here, so we can write notes to each other. Is this correct? And the rest of the team can see the notes. And then if we want to write a note to a comment to the client, we would click over here and just change it, and this would be visible to the client. So
How long have you been building this for?
I don't know. Since I joined up with Tonya, she's the one that put me onto Canvas.
Yeah,
How
we have one of our first streams of office hours back in April or May. It was me going through how to install Canvas, like how to start an app with Canvas. So
Wow.
walking
I'm
it.
probably one of the original members, was I, Tonya?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Just the amount
And then
of
I've
stuff
got-
that you were able to do.
So these
Yeah.
ones here come on as drafts. So the client, I do have a client portal, which I haven't got that in a while. Client portal.
And didn't you start over at some point?
I did start. I started over using Canvas because I started doing it without Canvas.
Hmm.
So when I want to publish these, because these aren't visible to the client, so these are sort of just, I've got like they're invisible
Mhm.
to the client, but when I want to publish them, I've got a tab up here. So I've got this working quite nicely. So you can select which ones you want, and then to just publish them, you just hit this little button up here, and then they'll turn green down here, and then you'll know that those ones are now visible to the client, and these ones are not visible to the client. So you can do them all, or you can, do it all or whatever. And then basically once the client's uploaded the documents, they'll get sent a link
Mhm.
and they'll upload their own documents, and then we'll tick them off. So I haven't hooked up these workflows yet, but basically you've got to accept and a reject button to accept and reject whether the document's correct. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's it's a pretty big process that I've still got like heaps of stuff to do. So these are all the different sort of sections I need to set up. Yeah.
Those are stages? No, those are just different. Those are entirely different types.
This is like an application, and then like I've got an overview of the application, and then I've got like the context that are involved in that application.
Mhm.
And then we can call them, log a call, send them an SMS, and email. And then over here, sorry, I've got this turned on so that it's on page load. I need to turn it off. This should only be coming up on the portal tab. And then this would be the client's application. So this is quite a big job. I haven't even started this page yet, but
Right.
and when we interview the client, we've got a page here for that, which is down here. So basically you go, who did you talk to? What time was it? It'll just populate the current time, and who was it that interviewed? It will populate, and you just go create, and then basically you just go and ask them the questions, and then we can record the data.
Yeah. Jeez.
And then we've got the client portal, which is what I was just showing you, and then we've got, this is kind of going to be similar to the client portal, but it's just going to be for questions. So when we've got questions to the client, we'll just load them up, and then we'll send them, push a button and submit them through to the client.
Man, you could take chunks of your application and just sell those individually. Like even just being able to track all of the calls and like what you have right now. Like, I'm curious if just launching what you have right now to beta testers would be the best way of going forward, because it looks like you have a lot of other things that you want to add. And with something of this scope and size, you might run into the problem of like never being able to finish because there's just one more thing to add or one more thing to change.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that like you should probably just like launch one or two features and just hide everything else and then work on it in the background. Like launch something that's done and then get some feedback from some people who try to use it. And if they're trying to use it.
This is an internal tool mostly, I think.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna resell it.
Oh, this is just for you.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
He's planning. Jordan's planning to operate his business using this app, is my understanding. Is that right, Jordan?
Yeah, so I mean, the goal is one day to like start a franchise and let them have the app for free. But yeah, I don't want to. I don't really want to give it out to. I mean, I could at some stage. It might be worth it. If I could get like everyone on that was a mortgage advisor in New Zealand to pay $100 a month to use it, then yeah, by all means, it might be more efficient to do it that way.
This
And
is more like a $500 to $1,000 per month app, just saying.
Yeah, the scope that you have, like that,
Maybe more.
manages everything.
Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to see. Just whether that's what I was going to ask you about. How you guys work. If you've got extra time, that you might be able to help me get some of it done.
Yeah, I'm looking at those 348 issues, and I'm wondering where are those coming from.
Well, my problem is that I always come back and fix those in one hit because I start building. I get my idea and I start building it, and that idea ties into something else. So because the project's so big, I'm not really too concerned about those. And
Yeah.
like once a month, I'll just go back and I'll just go and clear them.
Yeah, totally. I can see that. I think that, I think that the best way to go about that is you definitely want to clear those issues before you start. Yeah, before you start using the application, for sure. Because like what can happen is the issue tracker will also slow down your app, especially when there's hundreds of issues. So you can like turn off the issue tracker and things like that. But then you kind of miss like one or two things that you could probably catch if there's only one or two errors. You could be like, oh, there's an error. And then it helps a lot with debugging. You're like, why didn't this work? And it's like, oh, because I have the wrong parent group, for example, or something like that. I'm just amazed, to be honest, at how much you've been able to do in just a few months. That's insane. And this being your first one, and these are pretty complex things, these integrations that you have. Is there a way where you could start using this app for just like specific things?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think like this is almost ready to go. Like the client portal. Some of these functions I could just hide them in the menu. Like this is all working. I think like the agreement, so we can use this tab, and I can put in addresses, and we can upload files, and some of them are working completely fine. Like I would say this is actually finished, this one.
That's awesome.
So I can create can create that. I think the comment section is working. So test. Yeah. So I've hooked this up out, and we can do replies, and that's all working. The task section, this is working, so it can make tasks.
Yeah, it looks like you need to launch this thing, and you need to start using it because it'll probably save you a lot of time. I think that's the biggest thing, is because Bubble is so easy to build with, that you can get a little bit of scope creep in there, and then eventually what started as like a very simple project turns into something a lot larger. And it would be a shame if this is just never gets finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% right. And that's what I was worried about. And I don't have a lot of time because I am working in the business all day as well. The only ever time I get is like real early in the morning, so I might get like half an hour a day on it, and then on the weekends like today, if we're not going away or whatever. So yeah, it is kind of something that I like. It's really high on my priority list. I just want to get it up and running.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, I can definitely help out, and yeah, I think we kind of nailed down like what are the features we want to release, and then we just kind of hyper focus on those.
Huge proponents of scoping here. Like,
Yes.
it's an important part of the process, and it's one that I see a lot of, and we've talked about it before, Jordan. It's when I see that a lot of people who are newer to Bubble, they don't either know to do, or they just think, well, I'm building this for myself, so I'll just start with an idea and run with it. But scope creep is absolutely a problem, and it can keep you from launching if you let it. So
100%.
awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because when we work, or at least when I have worked as a project manager, and we scope everything out, like everything just runs so smoothly. And then when I want to build my own personal projects, I'm like, I don't need to scope it. And then I run into those issues where I'm like, oh, I should add this feature. We're actually dealing with that right now, with the extension that we're building, Tonya.
I was going to say something.
Yeah. I think we should
be careful.
Step back and scope out exactly what we want. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we have another question from Frank before too long.
Awesome.
Okay. I just saw Jordan, the app that Jordan is making. So I have a lot of work and a lot of things to learn, I see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're so happy to help. So welcome.
Okay.
It doesn't actually take that long, Frank. Once you're up and running.
Oh, Frank, you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You had another problem? Another question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You showed me how to change the reusable button, so it worked. So the name wasn't correct, but now I want to. If you click on the button, you have a floating group focus, but when you click, the group focus has to hide. So when I try to hide, I can't find how to hide the group focus.
So it's on that index. It's in that index page. You can go ahead and share your screen. So you can hide the, you should be able to hide from the index page on that workflow that's checking to see if it's empty or not. So if you go to the workflow tab on the left, and then go to that folder that we had, I think it was like game. I think you have two folders now. Right here on like step 3.
Okay. Yeah,
so make a new step underneath. And then do hide the group focus.
Yeah, I think I tried it and I didn't. It's called apps.
Is it G-Hover apps?
No, it isn't. Here it is. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I must have. I tried it this way and didn't see. Okay.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, hopefully that works.
That'll work. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions, Frank, or it was just that one for now?
Just that one. I have a lot of questions for Tonya after the Zoom meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Brittany, back to your original question.
Yes, I just want to make sure that I have this workflow set up correctly. I'm going to share my screen. This was back when I was trying to make sure the annual subscription. Let me go and show you guys real quick. So in the option set, where we made not this one, this one, I changed it to 7 work orders, but because it's annual, I would have to have a reoccurring workflow to reset those work orders allowed for each month. So I just wanted to make sure I had it set up right, basically.
Okay.
So this is what I made the Gold annual membership. And only when it's the subscription type is Gold Annual, make the changes to the user, to their work orders allowed. And then the API workflow I have scheduled will be for every month, Gold Annual, and only when the current user subscription type is Gold Annual and current users Stripe customer subscriptions, current period starting date is within 12 months. Is that right?
Okay, here we go. Let's
It's a
think. Let's think. So you want to check if it's been one, you want to reset how many they've done?
Right, within the month, but because they only pay it annually once a year, I will have to do it on the back end. So I spoke with Tonya about it before, because we kind of did that with the basic member, but I needed to make sure that they're still on that plan. Like it doesn't keep going after the month. It doesn't keep restarting after
So if they've
12
paid
months.
through November and then they change to a different thing, you're not refunding them. So now they'll be like on a lesser plan and you don't want to renew them at a higher number.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if they did,
Because it's a credit-based system, Justin, that's why. So their subscription buys them a certain number of credits each month.
right.
Okay. And then those credits expire, right?
And those
Right.
credits expire, yeah, on a monthly basis, right?
Right.
Okay. And then, so you're worried about someone buying an annual membership
Mm-hmm.
and then using, and then the next month buying a monthly or switching over to a monthly
No,
one?
like after their annual membership is over, then having downgraded in the interim and then making sure we want to check that their membership is current
Mm-hmm.
before doing that. I think the current user subscription type is Gold Annual. Is that something like?
So that's just making sure that they're a
Right.
Gold Annual member. So
Right. So we're looking at their
This-
current period, and the current
Right.
period starting date. Is that something you're storing in Bubbles database, or is that something you're grabbing from Stripe?
I think that is from Stripe.
Okay. So the easiest way to test this and see what's actually happening is just to go in and make that where it says the current date and time. There is where it says 1 month, is make that something like 5 minutes or something, giving you enough
Okay.
time to go in and delete out the work orders that it's
Okay.
credited and just see if it works every 5 minutes. If it works every 5 minutes, then you can change it back to 1 month and you can feel confident that it's working.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And then if it's not working, then come back because we'll know that there's a problem with the logic.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect. Any other questions, Jordan?
I think I'm good.
All right. How about you, Frank?
No, not today.
Not right now. All
Okay.
right. And
Did you
Brittany, are you?
guys-
Oh yeah, Jay. What's up?
Did you guys, you were talking about having a different channel of office hours for APIs. Is that did I understand that
doesn't-
correctly?
That doesn't exist yet. So right
I know.
now is still the good time to bring up APIs in office hours.
Okay.
Do you have an API question or?
Well, I mean, I don't have it far enough along to ask specific questions. I'm
Okay.
interested in AWS voice to text, voice to transcribe.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Yep. And then we also want to encourage viewers who, even if you're not a member, if you would like to submit a question, you can go ahead and sign up at CoCreativeNoCode.com, and then you can come to our page requests here and you can add your own request, add your own question, and we'll be going through these when we have time on office hours. So Ben is one of our members, so Pablo went through a couple of these last night. And then I wanted to look and see, yeah, so I had one here. So this question came in from a user who's just watching our office hours. I would like to use a barcode reader device with my inventory tracking application. However, the barcode plugins on Bubble only let me use my phone camera as a barcode reader. Are there other ways I could use my application with a barcode reader device? And yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So a barcode reader device, I'm assuming they want to use this on desktop and then it plugs in through USB. At least that's how I did in the past. Mm-hmm. And what you do is when you scan a number using that, it acts like a keyboard. So it'll just drop down a bunch of numbers. And so you just put an input field there, like just a regular number input field. Usually it's number. I don't think there's any letters in barcodes, but I might be wrong. But you just throw an input field in there. And then when they go to scan something, with the USB connection, it'll send it to the computer as a bunch of numbers. And so if you click in the input field and then scan something, it will send the numbers automatically.
Awesome.
But you need to have you've got to have all the SKUs in your database already, right? Or through an API.
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to refer to it, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great answer. Thank you, Justin. And then we had one also in here. Ben asked this question on office hours yesterday evening, and I wasn't able to get through it until I sat down with it for about, 20 minutes myself, but I did it. So I wanted to circle back and explain how to do it. So he was using Zapier and trying to take a record from a new record that was created in Airtable, grab it with Zapier and send it into Bubble. And my recommendation was, we don't need that. We'll just go and use the Bubble Airtable plugin, which is a beautiful plugin, by the way. I use it extensively and I'm in love with it. And so what I did was I just set up and this is a dummy API key for a new trial account. So it's not a big deal that it's showing. We are very careful not to show API keys around here. So here's the basis. I called it office hours and the table office hours. And so I checked off use as data, create, modify, and I initialized it. And I won't reinitialize it because I have it all set up right now. But basically all of the fields in this Airtable, which I can show you. Oops. Let's see here.
Is that a two-way thing, Sonia?
Yep, it's a two-way thing. And that's exactly what I was showing was these are, so name, notes. So what I have is I have a name field, a notes field, an ID field. This is just for ordering purposes. And then what I'm calling a BUID or Bubble Unique ID. And the Bubble Unique ID, we send this in because we're going to search these records for ones that don't have this filled in. And that's how we know we need to pull them into Bubble. So this is what the Airtable looks like. For demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this out. And then in the data, my app data, you can see office hours here. These are the 3 from the Airtable. I'm actually going to go to delete those out. So what we did was we created a from Airtable page. I just put a simple button on here. So once you click this button, you can actually set this workflow to recur itself. Once a day or something like that. So you don't have to come back and click the button every day. I haven't done that. I was just trying to prove the concept that we could get the information back in from Airtable. So all this button does is schedule this workflow. There aren't even any parameters going in there. So I go to the backend workflow, called it from Airtable. As you can see, no parameters. So the first thing is to create the new thing in our database called an office hour. And all we're doing is, I can show you, I'll just use the ID, then you're getting data from an external API, which is Airtable, and then adding the constraint here that the BUID is empty. That way it won't pull in any records that's already pulled in before. And then we just go first item. Oh, the other thing I was doing, I don't know if it's important to do this, but I'm doing it just to make sure, is make it ascending order. So we're always talking about the same first item. And then first item, and then ID. So that's how I set up each of these. So I did that for the name, the notes, and the ID. And only when I do a search of those records, the exact same search, and the count is greater than 0, because this is what's going to keep this from being an infinite loop, right? So then the second step is we actually modify the record in Airtable. This is where we add the unique ID from this record back into the Airtable record so that we know we don't need to pull that record back in the next time this workflow runs. So we just modify a record. The record we're modifying is the same search, except that instead of searching for BUID that's empty, we're looking for the office hours record that has the same ID as this previous one. And then also only when the count of those records here is greater than 0. Then we just schedule this workflow to run again. It's called a recursive workflow. So we just schedule the same workflow to run again every 1 second, again with the same condition here, until it doesn't have any left. It'll stop. Once it has no records left without a BUID, this workflow will stop running. So it's very simple. Then I just go back to from Airtable and I can preview. And here, the app data, you can see I don't have any office hours yet left. So I click from here. And there we go. And that's how you can pull in your information from Airtable into Bubble.
Great job. Awesome.
Very cool. Last chance for questions before we wrap up office hours. Going once, going twice.
I have one, Tonya.
Sure. I'll stop sharing so you can share.
Yeah, it's when I it's a web application, so when it's responsive, when I go to my iPhone and I click here, this drop down menu here, it works perfectly. But if I go to my iPhone, the bottom two buttons, the two bottom buttons, I can't click on it because I can't scroll down. How
Looks like Justin knows the answer to this.
Yeah.
This is a problem plaguing developers everywhere, Bubble developers everywhere. Okay, I do have an answer. I have not implemented it before, but you need some custom HTML code in order to get it to work. Let me just search for that and find it. In the meantime, are there any other questions while I look this up?
I've got a challenge with collecting a user's location.
Got
Okay.
it. I will see if I can help.
Well, we this
Oh,
one,
you mean I've already tried?
yes.
I think Justin was buying himself time while
I know, it
answered
didn't quite work out.
Oh man.
Shoot off, guys. I'll see you later, eh?
Okay, bye,
All
Jordan.
All right, see you,
Thanks for
Jordan.
coming.
Bye. Thank you. Okay. Group. I think this is the code. Okay. I think this will work. So I'm gonna share in the chat the code, the JavaScript, or no, CSS, not even JavaScript. And you just need to apply that to the group focus. Apparently that's how you do it. So let me share my screen just to confirm that this works. So basically, if I have a group focus that's super long here, let me create a new page. I think I have a test page here. Okay. So if I have, let's say, a button here, and when I press that button, it's going to open up a group focus. And this group focus, I'm going to make wicked long. Let's say, sure, 3000. I want to be able to scroll this group focus. But let me give it a background color so I can see it. Yeah, sure. Gradient and a border just so I can tell where it is. Okay, so I want to be able to scroll through this. So I'm going to put a repeating group inside of it. I guess I don't need to make it so long. Or yeah, no, I will do that. I will make it really long because this will be faster. And I'll throw a little button at the bottom just to show that it's at the very bottom. And then I'll put top here. Okay, so there should be nothing. So if I were to click this, it should show an element, which is group focus A. Okay, so let's preview. Make sure this is doing exactly what it's doing on iPhone. Oh, I previewed the wrong page apparently. Why is it not previewing the right page? Test. Oh, I think it's test 2. There we go. Okay, so I click this. Yeah, and I can't scroll down. I can't see that button at the bottom. So if you use this handy dandy code, you should be able to fix that. So let me grab, actually, I'm not gonna put it anywhere like in an HTML element. I'm just gonna put it on the page. You could also put it in the settings, but I just don't want to mess up the rest of the app. I'll show you. You can shoot, if you go to SEO meta tags in the script or meta tags in the header, you can just add that code here. But in the meantime, I'm going to put the code on this page. And this is the code. So it's focus filter. You're calculating the height, and then you're setting the overflow, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the element here, and I'm going to change the ID to focus filter. I'm going to hope and pray that this does exactly what I want it to. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, test 2. Let's go to the right page here. Okay, I click
Can I just
this.
say I'm so excited for our extension.
I know, me too. I can't wait. Should we show people what it looks like now?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a horrible mess, but it works. So basically, you guys can see the get pro no code help like button is now added to the side. So you just click that button, and then it will open up a ask a question thing. So you should log in, and then once you log in, you can ask a question directly through here. So you can, as you can see, it's a horrible mess. We're in the middle of making it, but you can ask on Facebook, you can ask on a bubble forum, and it will open up for you. Or you can
Sorry
ask
for the
office
tangent.
hours.
I'm just super excited.
Yeah, you can, you will be able to do all of these things. You can ask for, rush consulting. You can ask a pro, will answer you in less than a day. There's obviously, you have to be on a premium plan for those. But you can also record your screen directly through the app here. So you can just explain it and then send the question. So there's no logging into some other service and trying to add your question. You can just do it right in the bubble editor. So that's what we're building right now. But I think,
Really cool.
thank you. It's an extension, a Chrome extension. Yeah. So I think pro no coders. Yeah. Right here, this little P here. Oh, apparently there's 4 messages too. Oh, I guess it's been updated.
You can't see, but I'm dancing.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. Again, like, don't judge it on based on what you see here. You can also tune in to, or if I go back, you can search the vault of questions that we have. You'll be able to join office hours if we're live, like for example, you just click this button, it'll take you right there. You can watch office hours if it's going on right now, instead of joining. And we're really excited about it. But to end that segue, let's jump back into this. I think it solves the problem. The only issue is that I can't see the button still. Like, I can scroll, but I can't see the button. And I can almost see the button. I can see the top of the button, and that's about it. So the reason for that is because it's calculating the max height based off of 100, 100 being the view height, or the viewport height, and then subtracting 175 pixels. But the thing is, mine is more than 175 pixels from the bottom. Mine is 155 plus 86 is where this starts. So if I add those two numbers together, can I? No, it won't tell me. So 86 and 155 gives me negative 69. I didn't do that right. It gives me 241. So I'm just going to change that code from 100 viewport height to minus 175 to 241, because that's where the button starts. And then when I go back into here, it should theoretically give me the right height. Awesome. Yay. And now I can see the full button. If I really want, I can make it even shorter. So I can just say, I only want, 80% of the view height. And then that will give me a shorter group focus menu with scroll if you think it's too long. So that works. Now, if you don't like the horizontal scroll, there's ways to get rid of that. If you want to change what the scroll bar looks like, there's ways to change that. All you really need to do is just CSS scroll bar, custom scroll bar, and you can customize it however you want. Just jump in here. There's lots of examples. You can make it look like, a red thing. There's lots of beautiful examples that you can find, and you just copy and paste that in there as well. Okay. Do you have, Frank, were you able to use that?
I'm going to try.
Give it a shot.
Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I'm awake, and I will try to try to scroll.
Awesome. Okay. And this will also be on YouTube, so you can go back and refer to it again if you need.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm
Awesome.
sorry. I have one question about what you were just talking about, the scroll bar. And actually I have two questions, but the CSS custom scroll bar, you copy and paste and put it where now?
So if you want, it depends on what scroll bar. If you only want one scroll bar to do it, then you have to be specific about it. If you want all your scroll bars on your app to do that, then you just put it in your settings here. So you in your style tag, and then this, whatever you put in here shows up on every page in your app.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I were to drop that in here, for example, I think there's a just working here. That's really ugly. Oh man. There's something not that ugly. I think there's one. What is it? CodePen has a lot of them. Yeah, you can see there's all of these different kinds of scroll bars that you can add. I like the blue one. So I'm just going to go grab that here, style 3. Okay. No, that's the red one. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to grab this and I'll just show you how to put it in.
Okay.
So if I go back to this, I'm going to paste it right here. And it's only the stuff that starts with style 3. Now, style 3 is referring, anytime you see a hashtag, that's referring to an ID. So we don't want that. So let's remove that because we want it to apply to everything, not just something with that ID. So it's going to change the scroll bar track. It's going to change the scroll bar. It's going to change the scroll bar thumb. Now, if you notice, this has that horizontal scroll bar, but it's empty, and that's really annoying. So if you want to get rid of that, the way to do that is you just change the height of that to be 0 pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then change, see what it looks like now. And you can see, I guess it was a black one. It's a nice custom scroll bar, and the one at the bottom is now gone. Okay. So yeah.
And I have one more question, and this is because how do you view your app in like a phone view? Because I saw you doing it before, and I always just use my phone because I don't know how to do it.
Oh yes. Okay. So this is if you want to demonstrate it in a phone, you just use the console, which I showed you how to do before. You just right click the page, click inspect. And then you have this little button right here that's like a device menu. And then you can change which one it is. Cool. You can look at an iPhone X, and it will set it up for you. Now, the really cool thing is if you want to take a screenshot of what it looks like on your phone, you can just click in here and then just say capture screenshot. And then that screenshot will show it looking on a phone.
That's
and
really
it will,
cool.
yeah, it's really nice shortcut. You can also capture a full-size screenshot, so that'll grab the whole page. And then if you grab, oh, we should test this in mobile. Oh, there we go. There's, okay. You can see it sticking to the side here. I think that's because we have it at fixed width. This page is in fixed width. That's why. But yeah, that's how you can test it. Now there's even another website, test your phones in mobile mode. There's this really cool one. I think no, it's not this one. Actually, I will show you. There's a bubble. I go to the bubble forum. I can show you how to view like multiple phones at the same time and multiple responsive views at the same time, so you don't have to click through them. It's even faster. There's a bubble newsletter that goes out. I think it's called Bubble Hacks. And he was talking about how to do specific, yeah, here we go, Bubble Hacks. Okay, so I'm going to jump onto here. And then there's one, building for mobile. Here we go. This is one he's talking about. So you can view them like this. The website to do that is in this YouTube video. Just going to grab that. Oh, it's a Chrome plugin. It is called, it's called Responsive Viewer. It's an extension that you get. Responsive Viewer, Chrome extension. So you can also use this. Now, I would not recommend installing too many extensions because it does slow down your app and it will add a lot of just kind of unnecessary bulk to you searching the web. But
it can also break your app and other
Yes.
pages across the internet. So
that's true. So be careful on what you add. And then when you're done using something, you don't think you're going to use it again, you can just like remove from Chrome, or you can disable it. So if you go to manage extensions, you can just disable it by turning it off or on, and that will just keep it loaded or not loaded, but never remove this one. In terms of the,
I like what you think.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to preview the bubble mode. Okay. So if I were to do this page, for example, I'd hit this button and now it shows me what it looks like on all sorts of different phones.
Okay.
And so I'm going to paste a link to this Bubble Hacks because they're actually quite awesome. And you can have a look yourself. Every time that we run into resources like that, I can also put those out into the office hours. They talk about how to make your mobile phone app responsive in a vertical way using a few different hacks that you can figure out. Very cool. Awesome. Brittany, does that kind of answer the question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
And Jay, did you want to ask that question about the location stuff?
Yeah, I need to share my screen.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Go ahead.
I'm trying to capture users' locations when they sign up. I've got a couple of problems with it. Unless it's not collecting all their locations. I suspect, I don't know, but you know how you get that alert pop up from your browser saying, I guess it's from Google, you know, asking them to allow the site to collect their location data.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up as soon as they get to the site. I've noticed on some sites I use, that's delayed. I'd like it delayed so they can kind of understand why I need the location data before they say yes or no. Is there any way to delay that?
In Bubble, not really. I mean, you can ask for it again later. That's pretty much the best you can get. You don't. So what you want to say is like people are denying it because they don't know why you need it until
I don't know.
you.
I think that, I mean, I think that's why, because when they go through the sign-in process, after they've agreed to sign up, they give it a username. Now they get to location data. There's an explanation of what data is wanted and why. And then there's a best guess that's based on current geographic position. And this works. I don't know why it works, but that was a cat, sorry. I don't know why it works here, but it doesn't work when I save it. And then they have to like, yes, that's me. In which case, good, that gets saved, although evidently it doesn't. And then no, they are sent to here where they can fill in what they wish. And all I'm asking for is a city, state, or province. And I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the countries. And then the zone if they know it. And that's all. It's not very much. So what I had before was, for a while, this was a get IP. As soon as the page was loaded, and I used that. It worked, but it didn't always work, and it wasn't great. So I changed it to this, thinking it would be simpler, which it sure looks simpler. But then when I go look at the live data on the site with real users, I've only got about half of them, of their locations. And that is a problem because the site doesn't work optimally without that, especially if it's Australia versus US, or, US versus another country.
I think your best, yeah, for sure. I think your best option here is actually just in the header, or in a repeating group, or not a repeating group, like something on some item that shows up on every page in your app, or maybe even on page load. Do I have the current information? Do I have the current user's location? And if you don't, then you just open a pop-up and say, hey, we don't have your location. This app doesn't really work if we don't have your location. So could you please type it in, kind of thing.
Just hound them to the ends of the earth is what you're saying. That's the solution.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, if it only works with location, then that's the way that you have to do it.
Do you think that the reason that this isn't working is because they're denying, they're blocking it when Google asks?
Well, I know I block it when Google asks, so I block it all the time. So it could definitely be, that could be one of the reasons. There is also plugins that block it too, like automatically.
Okay.
And they can also have like privacy settings set for like websites that they don't trust, or that they've only visited a few times or something, that it automatically denies all of those requests. That's likely. It's probably the case.
Okay. All right. That is interesting. Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah, there is a way to trigger that again. But if they've hit the block button, like if they hit the X button, then it can be triggered again with some JavaScript. But if they've actually blocked it, there's no way to trigger it again.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Any last questions before we wrap it up? All right. Well, I want to thank each of you for being here today, and we will be back here. Well, actually, Pablo will be back first at 11 a.m. CET. So that's Spain time, where Pablo is, and that will be on Monday. So if you'd like to join then, we'd love to see you. Otherwise, I'll be back with Justin on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So thank you everyone for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.